Sounds good. All righty, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do screen share. And I'm gonna go here. So I'm doing it well, I'll make it big for starters. So can you see the whole Fountain House Gallery Studio member only portal?
Yes.
Is it full screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we've got it set up that on the front page, which is the members only portal home, has the call for works with the submit for each, and then the art scholarship. And down below are all the buttons, but that is also included in everything at the top of the screen. I'm going to do this, get rid of this thing a second, is all at the top of the screen and also in this drop down box, which is typical for websites to have all this up here. But so let's start with jumping in for the call for works. So we combine two things to have all in one place so that we'd have the description of the call for work and then the form that goes along with it. And so then we also have the mushrooms with the exhibition submission form below. And I don't know if we'll jump in there or not. But so let's go ahead and jump in to fill out the form. And it's pretty easy. It generates an email automatically, and then it requests your email. I'm not really sure about why it does that in regards to having two emails, but I am going to, okay, wow. Well, I guess I'm not going to do that. So my email address is going to be okay. And then it gives a description of what you need to do, and following, each submission, you have to hit next until you reach the 15. And so you start with the name, and you go to the title of the work. And I'm going to try to do something, and hopefully you guys can see it. Can you see the split screen there?
I only see the Chrome screen. Is there something else we're looking at?
It only shows that window.
So can you see to the left the small work submission form?
Yeah.
And can you see to the right something that says small works and the names of the items?
No.
Okay, you just see whatever is in the background of that?
No,
Okay.
it just zoomed in on the Google Chrome.
Okay. All right. So I'm still going to leave it that way because I'm using information from that document that I have. So so the title of my first item is Shooting for the Stars. The medium is acrylic pour on, oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Acrylic, oh, well, hopefully it sees everything there. Okay, good, it does. The year of the work is 2022. The height is what? We've got 6 inches width. 6 inches depth. Sorry, I can't see super well.
It says depth.
Yeah, I'm in the depth. So I just entered 3/4 of an inch. Can you see the word? Can you see that I'm entering in information?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's looking good.
Okay. Okay. So is the work signed? Yes. Do I have a price? Oh, sorry about that. I guess I'll go ahead and do this for now. You see it now full screen. Add a file. I'm going to browse. And oh, look at master folder. Can you see all that?
Yes.
Okay. My gallery, call for work, small work show. And I'm going to go into shooting for the stars. I'm not sure if it's going to show that file. And then I'm going to go to next. And instead of taking the time to go into the other 2, I did set up 2 more. Do you want me to do that, or I can just move on?
Maybe, does anyone have any questions?
Oh yeah, that's a good thing. You want me to do it again so we can ask questions along the way, or?
Why don't you do just one more? And then it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so then I'm gonna narrow it again, and I'm gonna go here. Sorry, I'm doing that because I have my cheat sheet with all the names of everything over here, so I can just copy and paste and
The
not have to.
sample, could you just put like sample 1, sample 2 or whatever and go on? Or
And then go back and change it all.
oh, you're doing this for real for your submission.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry.
That's all right. Oops. And this is, so when you go all the way to the front, it does actually show everything. So the work year, I don't have to copy and paste that. I'm just going to enter it. The work year, does that all make sense? Becky, do I need to do the 6 inch, the inches part, or can I just enter 6?
if, I'll assume 6, since I said like, please use inches. And it's
Okay.
small work, so let's hope not 6 feet.
Yes, and the work is signed, so we can choose here. So I'm glad I asked that. So yeah, that'll make it easier, I think, for people just to enter in the 6 and the 6, or the 5 and the 7. And the price for this is going to be $100. Oh, so I probably should do the $sign, right?
Well, we're assuming that we're using dollars, US.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to upload a file, so it makes it easy. You can also drag and drop there. But you probably can't see where I'm drawing from, right?
No, we could see that actually.
Oh,
for
you
some
saw?
reason.
Oh, okay,
Maybe
that's cool.
you could, maybe if people, I'm just trying to anticipate if someone's watching and you could explain how you got your picture maybe from your phone onto the computer before you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I take my photos from my phone, and I I'm gonna do something a second. I'm gonna do a new share, and I'm gonna go here. And so can you see the can you see the sheet that I have, the text?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
Yes.
can.
So what I go in and I set up a I track everything. So I put in the name of it, I put in all the details, and I put in a little thumbnail so that I can go back. And this I actually create a catalog of all my work. And so then this is my catalog, and this is as far as I've got. I've got 3 pieces that I'm gonna enter. So I'll go back later and enter in that 3rd piece. But so I take the photo on my phone. I do all the cropping of it on the phone because the phone has that great editing capacity to tilt forward and sideways and crop. So I do all that work right on my phone, and then I email it to myself. And then I enter, then I enter it in, and where's that screen again? All right, I'm gonna have to go like this. And so can you see the submission form yet?
I do see it.
Yes.
You do. Okay, so we're back to the submission form. So that's what I do is I set up that little catalog and I take my photos. So does all of that make sense?
Yeah.
I-
Well, I meant like if you're on your iPhone, I'm assuming most people are going to take just a reference photo of their iPhone. You could
Mhm.
either email it to yourself, you could
Yeah.
airdrop it if you have Apple. Yeah. But
Well,
this,
I have an
Okay.
Fill out
Android
this
phone.
form on their phone, can't they?
What's that?
I said they can fill out this form on their phone or their tablet or whatever device, right?
of
Right.
course, yeah, that would make it easier too.
Yeah. So I don't know about what that looks like when you upload a picture from your phone and how you find that. I haven't done that myself, so I
Press
don't
add
know.
file. Press add file once it happens.
Oh, well, I did that already twice here, but I was saying on my phone.
Same way.
Wait,
It's exactly, well, I don't know about Apple, but generally you hit add phone and you go to your, wherever their pictures are.
okay,
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, on my
Okay.
Android, I save it. I actually load up the picture, and then I have to actually save it to my phone again because it's usually on my Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
If the picture's in your phone's gallery, can you get it there?
you should be
Yes.
able to.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where it'll be. So
And if you have a
then,
Google Drive app, you can do it straight from Google Drive too. But if you don't have the app, it's a little harder.
Gotcha.
yeah. So if for in this case, I'm only going to do the 2 pieces. And so if you only have a few pieces that are ready and you want to get them in so you don't have to worry about them again, you can do that. And then you can come back and upload more pieces and just keep track of the fact that you're getting to 15, because I don't think the system supports cutting you off at 15. So it'll be an honor system of making sure you're uploading 15. And then as the show goes on, and you sell, you'll come back to the form and add more pieces. Yes, Sheila, I see you raised your hand.
Well, I was not trying to interrupt your sentence. I was waiting till the end there, but that's basically what my question is about. It's like, I mean, you're not going to be standing around the gallery knowing when your pieces are sold. So, I mean, if we only put in 15, let's say we got extremely lucky and sold them on opening night and the next day, and it's like, well, when do we know that we can input more and bring them? And that
That's
also,
I
at
don't
least
mind
they not up.
answering.
that's a very good question.
I don't mind answering that.
Yeah,
Well, last year I tried to let everyone know like day after at least. I would say I'll let you know of every sale in that same week. So if you have more, you can submit them after, but I'll let you know within that week that it sells.
And how long is this show going to be up?
From November 10th until I think December 28th, Wednesday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
so to continue on with this, you just hit next until you get to the end. And so we're gonna see what happens when we get to the end. So we're at 6. So it's if you're only doing a few, I guess it's a little bit of a tedious process. Not too bad. I mean, we just have to go through, but I think if you're keeping track, as I do in that text document of what I've submitted, then I'll know when I hit the 15, and we'll stop at that point. Okay, so this next one is going to be 15, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so we've reached the end. It's been recorded. What does submit another response mean, Becky?
It's just a generic template, but like it just means like, do you want to submit the form again? I mean, if you're like you said, it's like on you to know like, oh, I only submitted 3, I can submit 12 more, whatever. It just takes you back to the beginning.
Okay,
But
so when
why don't you check? I actually just got in my email a notice that you submitted, but you should also have gotten one with all your responses. You don't have to check, but I just want to let people know, like, you will get confirmation. That's how you know that it went through.
I have so many pages open. Let me check. Yeah, no, I don't have a response. I don't have a
Why don't
notification.
you sync it? Because I just got mine.
I refreshed the page and it's not there.
Well, is that the same email? I mean, it should be coming. Maybe it takes a minute, but
Check junk mail.
Junk.
you know what? I found out why you didn't get it. You accidentally put your ORT, not ORG.
Oh, I misspelled. Yeah, okay. All right.
No worries.
Is
So
that
I got
something you
it.
can fix or no?
I mean, you're set, like,
Okay.
but in terms of you seeing your answers, I don't.
Okay, that's all right. So
Okay.
Sheila raised your hand again.
Okay, so I was wondering that there had been a mention, maybe not last year, at some point, I saw it mentioned, I don't know anything about it. I'm wondering if we can set up ahead of time the getting paid direct deposit rather than check?
Yeah, you definitely can do that. We can even set that up right now. It will still take about 3 weeks, but it will go directly into your bank. So I just need your routing and account number, and whatever you feel comfortable, like if you want to call me and I'll just type it in, however you feel comfortable, just when you're ready, you could get that to me.
Okay, so it's not another form or something. It's a direct thing.
No, yeah, you just have to tell me because like when I write the check requests, I fill in something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also was wondering, like right there where it says 2 wood panels for free, oftentimes after everybody gets their 2, there's some left over, and I was wondering if there were any left over this year.
Well, a lot of people haven't picked up theirs, most people. So I have some, but I want to make sure people get theirs.
Of
I
course.
haven't gotten mine yet. Because
Yeah.
I forgot to ask Justin to do it when he was down there twice. He was down there twice and he forgot to do it. All right, so can we go in and look at some other things? Do we have any more questions about the submission form?
Well, I was just curious, this submission form is so helpful because it really avails itself to being able to really do a fast load to Artsy. So can I assume then that when the form will also be used to, as like when the show, right before the show opens, to help people to put their submissions into Artsy?
Well, a few things. So this year for small works, because it's like, take pieces off the wall kind of show, we're not going to upload until after the show ends to Artsy. So I will use all the info that, this will make it like so much easier. So just be sure that I'll try to do a quick spell check, things like that. But yeah, this is going to cut so much time. So does that answer your question?
Thank you, that was helpful.
Okay, great.
Okay, so what would benefit you guys most? Would it be good for us to look through the rest of the portal so that people can know what is here in the portal? Or would people like to look at how to, well, the mushroom submission form is almost the same as the small works, except that it doesn't do the next. It has all 3 on the same page. And then you submit from when you get to the end, and in it has what show you want to choose, and it only has the mushroom show as here, let me just go in there. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so you choose the mushroom show, and then it has for each piece, the first piece, and then the second piece. And then when you get all the way to the end, you hit submit. So you're doing all 3 pieces at one time. Becky, can people do it individually and then come back and add more, or should they wait and do all 3 at one time?
It honestly doesn't make a big difference. So they could, whatever they feel comfortable with, because I am just going to do one export at the very end. So it,
Okay.
makes no
Okay.
difference.
Any questions about the mushroom show or the exhibition form?
Well, what if you only have 1 piece instead of 3?
Yeah, you can do just 1 piece, but it's you can do up to 3 pieces.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so it says right here, artists can submit up to 3 pieces, and that's typical for shows, that you can do 3 pieces. And that, it is talking about how you have to be volunteering the 2 hours per month. Yeah. Yeah. So So let me show you a little bit more about the portal. Let's go back home. And like I said before, it's got all the buttons down here if you want to go from here. And I've taken the liberty of renaming it from community meeting to gallery meeting because I felt like it was somewhat confusing to go from a community meeting at 3:30 into another community meeting at 5. So the studio meeting is called studio meeting. So I just we can change that back if we need to, but so I moved these buttons around so that they were more concise with how things are up in the bar above. So we have our call for works and the scholarship, and then we have the gallery meeting, which is here, and the drop down box for each of those, which is the agenda, the attachments, the artist opportunities and events. And yeah, so if you go in and you want to be able to track your agendas over time, they're in here all the way back to April of this year. And so if you forgot, or if you don't want to keep track of the emails and say, oh, I just can't find that email with the agenda in it, you don't have to worry about it. You just come to the portal and you can get the agenda for each week, and they're all in there. Like I said, all the way back to April. So you can go back and look at agendas, just, if you knew something was in a previous or thought it was in a previous, you can go back and see. And
I got lost. Tara, can you go backwards for a little bit? Was there a button that said agenda on it? How'd you get in here?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So when you go to the top and the gallery meeting materials, it's got here, let me do this. You go and you've got the gallery meeting agendas, the agenda attachments, artist opportunities, and member events. And these are the two things that are under the buzz, the artist opportunities and members. And then the agendas are its own page and the attachments are its own page, but those are up here too, so that you can, in the drop-down box, you can just go straight to the agenda or the attachments or the opportunities or the member events, or you can go straight to this page. It doesn't matter. It's both.
How far back did they go?
April this year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for example, if you wanted to look at the attachments, so in the agenda, it's got the little icon for the attachments. And if you want to go in and see what those look like, this is what they look like. So, we had the information session for the mushrooms last night. That was an attachment. The professional development thing was an attachment. So that's here. I kept those side by side because they were kind of presentation things and that made sense. And then there was an attachment for Rich. And so that's in here. And then there was an attachment for Eva Tatora. And so that's here. So each week there is all the attachments. And so if you're remembering back from a previous week that there was an attachment and you were just missed it for some reason, you can go back in for each of those weeks and see the attachments that are there for that week. And it just goes week by week. It's got all of them. And I've tried to have them in there so that they kind of make sense, they should typically are in the order that they are in the agenda. So it's easy to follow if you've got the agenda there and you're going down to try to find the attachment. You know, if you go to the first attachment, it's the first attachment in the agenda. So, and then the artist opportunities, that's pulled right out of the agenda, and Judy is doing that. I believe, right, Judy, you're doing the artist opportunities and events.
Absolutely, every week, as soon as I get the email from Elaine.
Yeah, so that gets pulled right out of the agenda. So if you don't want to be looking at the agenda and sorting through all of that stuff, you can come right to here and find those things. Or like I said, if you've misplaced your agenda and can't find it in the email, you just go into the portal and you can go in and see, oh yeah, that's a new, you know, a new thing. And if it's an attachment, you go over and look at the, you know, the attachment. So it's nice that the information is all here and easy to follow, because it directly correlates to what's on the agenda. So if you don't have to track the agenda if you don't want to, or if you lose track of it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Is there any questions from the people in the room?
If you're looking for an agenda from a certain day, what were you saying?
If so the member, each of these things are pulled out. And Judith, that might be something to think about in the event, the member artist events and opportunities, is put the date. That might be something we can add, but in the agenda attachments, as you can see, I've got the date for that agenda. And
Gotcha.
and so then you can see the previous date. And
Okay, I will add that.
yeah, I think that's a, you know, a good idea, because then people can go, oh yeah, that was that week. And so the other, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I think you guys have done a great job. I'm a little jealous I'm not part of that. It looks really good.
Well, maybe you can be part of it. We're
Yeah, Sheila.
we're an inclusive environment.
Well, Sheila, I don't know if Tara Sue, sorry, unplugged, but Tara Sue and Judy are, you know, we started like kind of working groups, so they have taken over, I don't know, how did we phrase it? Social media or no?
I can't remember. I did a rename of it. It's not social media because that would
Yeah.
include
External affairs, I
Instagram and
think.
stuff. But I think it was the web presence,
Hmm.
because we're doing the website and the portal. We haven't started doing work on the website yet, and we still need to get trained on access to that. But we
Yeah.
have been working on the portal for like since April. I don't know about Judith, but
I think since February.
okay.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
It looks great.
Yeah.
But Sheila, if you're interested, I mean, they do it not in person, like virtually. So
Yeah.
if you ever do want to, you know, help them out, just reach out.
Yeah, so we
Absolutely.
we do a weekly meeting. We just started it this week of Tuesday at 3:00 at this same link. So it's the same link as the gallery meeting and this open office hours. We're doing that Tuesday at 3 p.m. every week. So if you want to come and check out what we're doing and see if there's something that makes sense for you to take on as an ongoing thing or every once in a while, then we would welcome that. And I'm excited to see what we can do in the website, because I see lots of things that need to be updated and rearranged. So, yeah, go
I
ahead,
have an
Judith.
idea of something that we definitely could use Sheila's help with.
Oh, awesome.
We
We've
started
already got
talking
a job
about-
for you, Sheila.
We started talking about the idea of, since we don't have or use Facebook, and since not everyone uses Slack, as a way of us keeping like just having like interactive type of interpersonal interactive through through the portal. Like if there's we can make a blog section, and I think Sheila could definitely help us with that.
That
Yeah.
sounds right
And
up my alley.
yeah. And maybe we can talk more about that on Tuesday, and we can continue on with this thing. But yeah, welcome aboard, Sheila. And the other thing that's pretty cool, George, about these things that are PDFs, so you can see that this is the newspaper or the Times. So, and this is the same is true for the agenda. So anytime you see this little box up here, that's the arrow, you can click on that. It's going to open up in a new page, and it's going to be the PDF of the entire document. So you can download it, you can print it. So over here you can download it or you can print it out or whatever, but it's really nice way to be able to read the newspaper. So if they post it in Slack, but I miss often seeing it in Slack. But the only time we post the newspaper, the Times, in our portal is when it has relevant work for the show. So like Rich Courage was on the cover here, and he had written his article, and Maria Bronkema covered, let me get to it, covered the Animal Crossings. So we had two big features in this newspaper, and so that's pretty cool. So anytime, and I'm no longer writing for the paper, so I need to make that announcement, I think, in the meeting, recruit members that want to write. So Miss Sheila, if you ever want to write an article for the paper, that might be something you could take on too.
Thank you. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that, and I'd love to. Yeah.
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 Would you like to do that, George?
I would like to create digital flyers for artists.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. That would be
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over here we have the professional development, and that's we have here, but we also have the archive. So if you want to go back and watch the website development one, the recording is here, so you can come back and watch that. I'm not sure. Oh, good. So Robin's here. Did you see her cool ad on Instagram? She's created a Robin's nest. Oh, I love it. I made a fun comment about it. What a hoot she is, pun intended. So that's there. And I hope you continue to do that, where you upload the recording, because I think that makes it really nice in the professional developments. And then there's the frequently asked questions, but here they have the volunteer tab. So anytime you want to volunteer, there's a way to plug in. It's got the staff members. We've got all the forms, and that's something I'm going to be taking on and kind of revamping.
Oh, I have a really quick shout out, because I see you're about to get to this help us identify art. Do you mind doing a quick click on that? Because I just added some new pieces that
Okay.
I need a little help if you know the artist, let me know. Some of them people already got back to me, but some of them I
Wow,
just
you added a
wanna,
lot.
I went over to one of the residences
I think that
and
pink one that just rolled past on the right, I think that's Bernadette.
that's
Yep,
what
that's
someone told
Bernadette.
me. Okay,
Yep.
good. But the
Yeah, that's
others,
Bernadette.
those two there, all,
Here, this side by
I
side.
mean, all of them, truly,
Oh,
but let me know.
This one right here, those two side by side, those are cool. Those are really
These
cool.
are all hanging in the Wanakee right now. So I
Oh,
just
good.
want to put like a name and face so people know.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, you sure added a lot because yesterday it was 3 pieces. These 3 pieces.
Yeah, I just
So
went over
good.
today.
So we'll keep it as a tab. That was one of my questions is, does that need to be its own thing or can it be part of something else? But
I
now that you
mean,
have so much
Think
stuff in
about
it,
it. You know, whatever
Yeah.
you and Judy decide, because I could always, put it in Slack and that's enough.
no, I don't think so. I think
okay.
because you have so much more work in here now, I was just going to add it to another. I was going to add it to the volunteer section. But because you have so many things here now that it makes sense that it's its own page.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
I
then the
had a
plate.
question, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, oh, I was wondering if, how we could possibly improve our inventory tracking of the art database and then make sure
Yeah.
that we always know the art for each particular artist.
Maybe we can save that till our Tuesday meeting too.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that
I
would be
actually-
something we would work together with Becky
Well, I
on
actually have
tracking.
another working group. So far, it's a group of one, and we haven't met yet. But I really want to our inventory is actually, pretty good. These were old, like 2000, which is why it was not in our inventory system. But I do. If anyone here is interested, I have like an art handling group and then inventorying, like making sure everything is like accounted for. So that's another thing I want to focus on. So it's a good
Oh,
idea.
good. So that's another group, Judith, that you could jump into. And then, so let me see. We've got the playlist, which I
What time is this over?
What's
I
that?
had a question before you leave.
5:30.
Matt.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's all right. Go ahead.
George.
Oh, what time is this meeting over?
5:30.
Okay, cool. Keep on going. I'm sorry.
And my question is, the thing you were looking at before we started seeing these pictures, when you were showing people's articles and what they've accomplished and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I was just wondering if there's anywhere or part in there in that same section or another section, links to like when people do the wind down, when artists do the wind down Wednesday interviews on Instagram or any other, Fountain House related stuff where they talk to our artists or interview us or whatever.
We don't, but that would be wonderful to add.
Okay.
Thank you. So when you come on Tuesday, we can figure out where we plug that in and if you want to be the person responsible for pulling that data over.
Cool.
Cool? Yeah, love it.
No, discussion is cool.
Oh.
I commit to nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't tie you down. And then the playlist is the music. And I have to admit that when I talked to Judith, I told her I knew nothing about this or how it's used or why it's here.
I'll
But
give
we
you a
have
little context.
Yeah,
This
good.
was the brainchild of our marketing person at the house, who's not a member. He's super into music, so I was, he made it, so I just posted it. But I did ask him, can he open up to member suggestions? And Judy actually sent some suggestions, but I think she was the only one. So, I'll have to remind people, but
Okay, so tell our members here, our two people and me,
Yeah.
when and how this gets used.
Well,
The relevance
it
behind it.
needs a little revamping, but it was mostly a marketing thing so that if people are on Spotify, which is what this is on, it's called like the Fountain House Gallery playlist. So it's more of a way to get people just to hear about Fountain House Gallery. They might stumble upon it and then just be curious. And then they were saying, the marketing guy was saying we could
Okay,
put it
but
in the background of some Instagram videos, just
so is this
marketing.
something we can use to, all right, so if we have a video and I do videos, and I grab my music from somewhere else, can I go in and use this music in my videos? And how do I get that?
For sure. I think on
Uh,
Instagram, you probably have to, you could definitely use these. The only hitch that I've run into, because we have a business profile, for some reason, Instagram only lets businesses use some music that doesn't have a copyright, something like that. So a lot of
Right.
the songs, I can't actually use because copyright issues. But yeah, think of a way that you'd like to use it, because this was our marketing guy and it kind of came and went, nothing happened with it.
Uh-huh.
I don't really understand myself what's happening with
Okay.
it or why, but maybe you could breathe some life into it.
Yeah, I can't wrap my brain around it because it's an internal thing. So this is our internal portal, not an external one. So this
probably best that I don't, because I'll just fill it up with positive, motivating BTS music.
well, we need a lot of positive motivating things.
Well, I put it here because I had written somewhere like, oh, do you want to suggest a song? And then I was gonna, add it or send it to Phil's. But I'm open to removing it.
Okay, I'm all right. Well, let's just put a pin in it and see, if we can figure out its place in the world.
Well, it's my understanding that there's also a music portion of art that there's like actually music meetings, and that we have people in Fountain House who have their own music, such as Kane and I other people. So I was wondering, in conjunction with the idea of possibly marketing or getting people to appreciate our art on a deeper level, uh, what about an art podcast where we record interviews, voices of some of the artists, like, how did you feel doing this work? What motivated you, and different things like that. And maybe having the music in the background with that. And then we can like have announcements about the next art show coming up is, and you could come to our gallery and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a thought. It's like a brain fart. Thank you.
I love it. That's what I was trying to do with media and tech. I was trying to get the fountain artists to get interviewed or to show their work or to talk about a show or whatever. And people just, I guess nobody wanted to be first. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I love it too. I just want to quickly say, I actually really love, I don't know if you said, but I think like if Kane or someone wanted or gave permission, then I could use his original music in the background of our social media. But if there's anyone you could think of, send them my way and we'll try to do something like that.
Well, we are trying to promote, and when I was on the paper, I would do interviews of members often and have them be a featured artists and have their work. And so I'm pushing them to start doing that again. But I think that beyond the writing, I think it's so powerful to have the podcast piece of it, because having the voice part of the interview can have so much more power than even written, because people sometimes learn in different ways. But we're definitely going to have it in the Times, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't have it also as a podcast. And yeah, and we're gonna do that extra page that Judith talked about earlier about people sharing stuff.
Well,
So, and we're
the-
almost out of time, but
the offering, the service that I can offer as a virtual person is that if somebody is interested in having a one-on-one interview, that I can schedule time at their convenience on my private Zoom room, one-on-one, record, and that you can have a choice. You and the person can have a choice of giving permission, let's say, just to use an article. And in which case, I have a transcript from the recording, and somebody helps me edit, or I learn how to write English and punctuate, and I write an article from what the person gave me. Or there's the other possibility of having it be part of a podcast, if the person gives permission of audio only, or a video if the person gives permission of video, and we can have it as part of media and external affairs and blog and whatever you want.
sounds cool, Judith. So are there any more questions about the portal or the forms?
Maybe you could quickly just show where to find the scholarship form.
The scholarship, so I just jumped back there. So it's on the portal homepage, and it's the arts, it's right underneath the call for works, art scholarship. You go in here, and it's all right here. You just enter it in. It didn't open up as a new tab. That's interesting. But yeah, all of it's right here. You just enter it in, and then let's see what happens when we get down to the bottom, because I haven't done it yet. Oh, and you just submit. But there's also a place where we have to go and sign up for
Yeah,
the
scroll down a little
coaching.
and there's a hyperlink. Up, 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 up,
Up,
up,
up,
right there,
up.
right there.
Oh, okay. So the 15 minutes. Okay, great. Please sign in for the 15-minute coaching session, and it's required. Yeah.
I have questions about that.
Yeah.
I asked Elaine privately, and I don't know how, well, the week's almost over now, but I'm trying to figure out why we're having a coaching session after we've submitted an application. Isn't before it that I mean, I know I could use some coaching on how to figure out what I can take and when and all the rest of that. Why are we having a coaching session afterwards? Isn't it too late once you've submitted?
Well, I don't know if Elaine's on, but if
Yeah.
not, I could, oh, there she is.
Yeah, this is how, yeah, I hear you. I think I responded to you, and we can always set up a session beforehand, absolutely, to like chat about, brainstorm and whatever, but this is how it's always been, is what I've understood, is that
Oh,
there's
it's just a renaming the interview.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. We renamed it because it's less of an interview, because it's not really a competitive scholarship, and we don't want, it's kind of intimidating to say that there's going to be a panel interview, but because it's not like we even, like quiz you on anything. It really is more of a chat, just to make sure like you're all set with, like the class, and if you have any questions for us, it's just the time to do that. It's a little bit hard to have it all scheduled before, just because I'm still like receiving scholarships every day. So it'd just be harder to plan that out as well. But yeah, basically it's just the interview session. You're right.
Yeah, they just did a new name to make it be softer. But I think my 2 cents is it should be named the interview session. I mean, I don't think that's scary or intimidating. It is just a, it's.
We were just talking about interviewing artists. I mean, it's like I don't know
Mhm.
why there's a negative connotation on it at all.
There's not. Yeah. And I don't know why they changed it either, but
Well,
it
to be
is what it
honest,
is.
I hate interviews and I'm, a lot of people get social anxiety. So I just wanted,
Yeah.
there's also the flip side where we hear a lot of people saying they didn't want to apply because they were nervous of an interview or introverted.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
I just want to
it
apply
is
'cause you
good to
can never
hear.
figure it out in 2 weeks. And so, I mean, we'll throw that in there. I can never figure the whole thing out in 2 weeks if I hear about it in the 2 weeks. And I get all anxious and I can't figure out what I want to do. And then I get 8,000 choices and they're all happening at different times or have already started. And it turns into a whole thing. And then the time is up and I don't get a scholarship.
I would say also,
Deep
Sheila,
breaths.
I hear you. It's definitely tough and stressful, but just so you know, we have two a year and they're gonna be more regular now. So if like you want to prep like way in advance, the next one will be coming out around March or April. So just keeping those times in your head. And then going forward, it'll be like this in the fall and in the spring.
Are
So
the
that'll
other
just be
ones, are the other scholarships doing the same thing? Are they going to be more regular and announced too?
Yep, yeah, exactly. It's gonna be offset from ours, so the wellness will be in the summer and the winter. And ours will be in the spring and the fall, and yeah, those are announced as well. So you just keep that schedule in your head, and keep checking in with the updates. I think that will be helpful, and yeah, as always, reach out to me and we can schedule a time for sure. We still
Thank
got
you.
time.
Yeah, and I think this form is exactly what we used last time. Am I right? It seemed to be very
Yeah, I think it
familiar
was.
in the
It's a-
questions.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So super. Any more questions about anything? I guess let me get to the top of the page. There we go. So yeah, and I think we've got deadlines in there on everything. So at least as far as well, I know Judith's stuff has all the deadlines in there too, but yeah, so we've tried to make deadlines be up front and center so that when people go there, they go, okay, deadline. That I got to get it on my radar.
Point
So
is well taken. Now, for the when I put the dates, the date of for the opportunities and the events and everything, for each section, I'm going to have the date. What font and font size and font color are you using for yours? I want to keep it consistent.
Yellow and black is pleasant.
Let's talk about that on Tuesday, but I'm using what's in the yeah, let's talk about it on Tuesday. I use what the the template has for the website.
What's going on Tuesday, Tara?
The meeting for the working group that is working on the portal and the website.
Oh, Tuesday at what time?
3.
And what's it called?
We haven't really come up with a name. I'm calling it, I think, web presence. I don't know, working group. Somebody called it.
Tuesday at 3?
I don't remember. Tuesday at 3. Yeah, at this same link. And it's been Judith and I and Elaine and Becky. Yeah.
I will come. If
Yeah,
I was out,
and Becky,
but
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, Becky. She was we've only had one meeting, so it's not like we're deep in. We're just getting our feet wet. We're just getting our feet wet. So
By the way, I forgot to say, Becky, it's so good to see you, and I'm so glad you're feeling better.
Me
So
too.
nice to see you, although I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing fish, but I feel a lot better. And, I'm glad to be back.
Yep, it's good that you're back. So any other questions here about the portal or the forms? Well, it sounds like I covered the bases then. Do you think we're good?
I think that was great. That was great. I'm going to stop the recording now.